Welcome to Raising the Bar, a podcast giving no bullshit marketing advice for Aussie business owners. Expertise takes experience, and that's why we tell stories from lived experience to deliver marketing that raises the standard of what Aussie business owners should expect.
Hello, Mel.
Hey, Meepy.
How are you, my friend?
I'm very good.
We are back with episode 8 of Raising the Bar, lucky number 8.
Yeah, it was your lucky number.
It's my lucky number.
8th of the 8th.
8th of the 8th. So we are talking about social media today.
Beautiful.
I love social media, right? Mm-hmm. No, I actually just deleted it all off my my phone because I find it a deep, dark hole. Mm-hmm. But that's personal, so we won't really go into there. But do business owners need social media?
Oh, thank you. Load the gun.
That's great intro.
It's a very big
hard
question.
On that. Dear diary.
Yeah, thank you. I actually really dislike social for a lot of businesses. I think it's a lot of wasted time and effort for not much return on investment. But in short, most of the time, yes, you need, unfortunately, social media. Mm-hmm. I think it's probably important there's a context given to socials and understanding how they work, you know. So what I'd say is I still find it quite interesting that a lot of clients very beginning of the relationship, don't quite know the distinction between organic social media and paid social media. So to cover it, organic is like you're following. So, you know, it's just posting a post on your profile on Facebook or Instagram or on your TikTok profile, should you have TikTok, right? Mm-hmm. And paid is push marketing. So you actually, you know, you can boost your own content, and that is a form of paid social advertising. But if you go into something like the Meta ad suite, you are doing targeted social media advertising or meta advertising. So you're collecting an audience based on demographic, sociographic, past interest behaviour, and you're marketing to a particular audience. So push marketing is you don't know you need the thing, but I'm going to tell you that it exists. Whereas pull marketing is I know I need this, so most commonly, you know, I search for the solution for it instead. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So know the difference, organic and paid.
Yep. And how best can a business owner go about understanding whether it's worthwhile?
Yeah, I'm such a purist in this form, right? So like I think there was just too long a period where it was like, you have to just have your posts on social and you have to show it. And like I'm going to be completely honest, in sort of a later sort of Gen Y generation, I didn't go and refer back to social media to choose something in terms of a service or a product. It wasn't something that I would have done. I wouldn't go and look for it. So, you know, I think it's the business that you are. And if you're a CNC machining business in Welshpool with 7 people, and do you need to be posting an organic social post because no one cares about what you're doing? What do you have to say? What are you actually putting out there? Who would want to follow you every single week or at least a couple of months? Probably not. And the purists would say, but, you know, it's a brand exercise, like it's a recruitment exercise. You've got to show you have a culture. And I'm like, no, they respond. That company probably responds to tenders or has 3 or 4 major clients. People know what they want and search for them. And he's had the same 12 staff for 12 years and they're all his brothers, John. So, you know.
Sounds like a great place. Good fun.
But you know, like, so there are contexts of it. And I think businesses like that trying to maintain it. But then, you know, there's businesses where it's really important. And I think there's a really simple solution to organic social media. And that is that if you go back to the 4 Ps, I know I'm an old school marketer, right? Yeah, so I most of the time.
The 4 Ps.
Yeah, but there's one in there called place, right? And what we always need to be doing is analysing the channel in which we reach our audience. And the most important question is your audience actually there, right? So in organic social media, they're probably not following your page and no one's going to be searching. No one wants to follow, you know, people might follow a real estate agent page in their local area because they want to see the listings and compare their prices. People might follow I'll always follow the West Coast Eagles. I'm going to follow the Wildcats. Those things, they all make sense. But again, that CNC machining or a divorce lawyer, I'm not going to follow them. I'm certainly not going to follow a divorce lawyer because people would get a bit dodgy about that. Do you know what I mean? So, you have to ask that question of the value of organic social media in those points based on, is your audience actually interested in what you're putting out there, and are they there anyway consuming it?
Yeah. So a very simple first step.
Yeah.
Know
is
your
my audience
Are they there?
Well, yeah, it's probably a question we asked pretty early. Yeah.
Yeah. I found it really funny when we were talking about this topic today, because we were really organised and did it last minute. You were talking about going viral on TikTok. What was your example? I can't remember exactly.
Oh.
In terms of, I think it was a good example of audience and getting the perhaps wrong audience.
Oh, it was actually because I knew the girls that actually play on TikTok. I saw it on Instagram when I saw it, but the girls who were more on TikTok were on it. So essentially out of the US, there's a construction, I think at the core they're a construction company that would actually win probably the equivalent of major government contracts as an Australian contract, probably through tender, right? Mm-hmm. He's hired a marketing girl. It's a bit of a sort of younger, hipper business. Yeah, cool, that's brilliant. But she's created she's great at her job. She's incredibly creative, but someone like Coca-Cola or a major consumer brand needs to come and grab her. So she's gone viral by creating this series of TikToks, and one of them is they trick their boss into different things. She's like, oh, we're doing a trend, but she gets the whole team involved in it. And so one of the trends was, oh, boss, we're filming a trend. So he walks in, they're all just sitting at a boardroom table or whatever. Oh, we're filming a trend, which is you don't do anything for an hour and you film yourself, and then it goes on TikTok. And he's like, what do you mean you don't do anything for an hour? What do you actually mean, right? So it's gone viral because who loves that content? 16 to 24-year-olds. Who signs multi-million-dollar construction contracts? Not 16 to 24-year-olds. And if I did happen to look over my daughter's page at that construction company and see that TikTok playing and look at that business and realise that 10 of their staff are playing a game called Let's Be Unproductive and Trick the Boss, it's just
not great
really landing wrong, right? And sometimes it works. So listen, I am a bit of an old fart and I get that. In many ways, social can absolutely land a punch. It's critical to so many of our clients. I literally was filming a testimonial for a client for their business before we came in, which is going on LinkedIn, and it's going to go on Facebook, right? And it will work for them, and that'll be an organic social media post. It has its place. I think if you're a small business owner stressing about it, don't. If you've never got a lead from it and you don't understand it, you know your business bloody well. Just stick with your heart.
Yep. And I think as well, we always touch on, obviously you need to understand your audience, to what channel you're going to use, but then also what mindset are they in when they're on that channel, when they're using that. So talk on that for me.
I think it is a good point. So I'll probably talk about it in the context of, well, just generally, right? So if someone is on their Facebook page, well, we're working from home might have changed this a little bit, but when you're in a work context trying to find a service or product. So let's put it this way. If I am the EA of an executive and he's asked me to run an event and I need to find a venue and I've got to find caterers and put that stuff together, I don't really give a shit about that after 5, 6 o'clock at night. I don't care. So that's when I'm on my social media pages, right? So that's when that push marketing, again, it's pushing it to you to see it in a different frame of mind. And at that point in time, I don't care about work, and I'm probably looking at, makeup. Maybe not me.
Oh, the example. This makes more sense.
Example.
Getting confused.
Fashion, eloquence classes. No, definitely not me. So, actually hitting people in a medium they're wanting to intake. So, knowing the difference between LinkedIn and Facebook and where content should be. So we really do find executives and consultants on LinkedIn, but if we are trying to get a message out to school teachers and we're doing some advertising for a client who needs to attract school teachers, that is not a LinkedIn message. We do not find school teachers actively participating in LinkedIn, for example, but they are big Facebook users and they often are looking at it to find inspired ideas. So if you are cool things for the classroom or ways to organise things, you actually can reach them that way, but I wouldn't be doing that on LinkedIn for a school teacher. Know your audience and then know where they play.
Yeah. And I think there's so much that can go into doing the post, right? And people sit there, they have the picture, or you say you've got, it's the right channel, they're keen to do it.
Copy team, strategic team, design team, film crew. They're not expensive or anything.
But even when you capture the person and it is the right time, channel, it's social media, then what about the post, actually seeing the post and posting the post? That was great wording. If they click in terms of the customer journey and understanding that, we've spoken about knowing your audience, then right channel, right kind of time, and then what?
Yeah, so where is it highly effective?
And how do you know if it's working? What do you,
It's nice. You're really loving the questions today.
Few questions
2 beers
then.
in.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's answer the, do I scroll, do I scroll past it?
I can't remember my questions anymore.
All right, I'll try and answer it in the best way I can. Okay, so if your messaging's good enough, you have the visual appeal, you've put everything together right, and you capture the audience, and you've let's say it's an advert, you've marketed in the right push way to grab someone's attention. Where does it sit? I think it depends on the product. So I think we most commonly could say we purchase shoes. We will see something we like. I think you complimented on my bikini. It was a very nice bikini. I saw that on social media. I was like, oh, that'll look great on me. Oh no, wrong person. No, right. So you make those. It's push. I didn't know I needed one at the time. It was in the back of my mind, and that's a beautiful looking one. I'll call a purchase. Right. So those are great push. Now you're probably down in.
Give me the B2B
and awareness.
thing that's relevant to us. Come on.
Relevant to us. Okay, so there's times it will work. So we have a fabrication business. They fabricate big truck bodies. And they did this awesome fabrication that was on top of a Mercedes truck. So it was like a fabrication for, I can't even remember, it was like a crew truck, something like that. And it was seen by the guy in Mercedes, and he tagged and said, so good to be collaborating and producing awesome vehicles like this, even though he just provided the chassis and an engine. And that was seen by a major utility company in Western Australia, just happened to be seen by them. They contacted that company and said, hey, do you fabricate these things? Literally, instantly, and big lead. I think they're still actually trying to make the perfect module to get that truck out, but it worked, right? So that's the great, very rare example. But in a time where pushing your service or your product to someone that they wouldn't know you exist, that's really good. And are they necessarily looking for it? Most of the time, though, it's a brand exercise, and it's about actually consistently showing up for what you believe in. This is an example of that. How we speak about marketing. This is released on LinkedIn. I don't really expect people to necessarily jump on, watch every episode. I mean, there's not that many people that do it anyway, but what it actually is it's that consistency of our content showing up, those topics that we speak about and those things moving forward. And for us, we know that releasing content that demonstrates our knowledge in it is a way to be known and attached to marketing, to your business offering or to the audience. So I would put to you, though, people don't follow businesses, they follow people. And that's why you've probably seen this since the advent of AI, really much more prevalent that individuals, the business owners, are posting quite stoic, messages about their experiences and knowledge, and they're actually pretty good. You find that engaging with them is not bad, but I think the most important thing is that the company's remembering to go back to that, that post of its staff member or its business owner and posting that. So the person posts, the company shares.
Yeah. I think I was thinking of I was talking to one of our clients who's doing obviously like ads for recruitment. And, as I was saying, like understanding what you're doing, posting something, but also for those people when they do click on the ad.
Oh, you wanted measurements. Sorry.
Yeah.
Your double-barreled question got me, Nikki. Yeah.
But yeah, then the whole way that when you're investing all that time and money into this social media and they actually engage.
Yep.
The importance of that. Yep. And then also understanding, if it's product service, how do we know whether it's working? Is it changing revenue? How do we know if it's successful?
Yeah, socials are an interesting one because there's a couple of ways to transact or to convert. So you can actually shop in the platform. Have you ever noticed sometimes you can actually shop within the Instagram platform? Yeah. So,
but I'm old, so I don't trust it. And then I come out and then I go to the website.
You were taught well. So, that can happen. And you'll also note, there's a lot of Facebook ads, targeted ads that we have where you actually message within, you press the message within the the Facebook platform, so it doesn't hit a website, it actually comes straight through.
Yeah.
There's probably one thing that I think it's good. I think it's that thing, like, especially if it's a quick return, like I'm interested in, or go on our pre-released list, or would you like to register for, your interest in tickets are going to become available, like pre-register for them, because it's a really quick thing to do. Yeah. I would say often when we see adverts that have been done, for our clients, and it's a bigger investment and you need a quote, and someone's just like, I'm this and I want that, there can be a really high percentage of poor leads where someone, I don't think they even know they've necessarily clicked on a lead. I know, I was looking at a property last night on just a real estate agent had a property up, and I just clicked on it to view the pictures of the property. And already it opened Messenger and said, hey, Mel, do you want to do this? And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. It almost is this auto prompt, and it already then knows my details because it's got my profile, so it knows who clicked. So just to warn people. So that's one way you can actually have the interaction within the social media platform itself. And the other is that you get to control the button that sits at the bottom of an advert. And there's a few sets of particular calls to action you can have on there. Shop now, what's next. I can't actually remember all of them, but like there's a few, I think there's 4 or 5 different things you can actually put on that button, and you get to control the URL they go to. So a lot of the time it might be get a quote, but the quote, you'll actually go to a landing page and have some prerequisite forms on your website and then go through from there. So tracking that. Well, from a in-app experience point of view, it already pulls your name down. So that's the advantage of that. It will pull out, Mel Strutt, and it will kind of put my details in there, and this is what she said if I actually bothered to type something. And that usually is feeding into like a spreadsheet. You download the spreadsheet, you open that up, you have a look, and you get your calls. On the and transactions, in terms of payment transactions, you can have a look at what you've actually made and transacted on the social media platform. It'll go to a payment portal as an example. But when it goes to a website, you need to actually have tracking codes, UTM tracking codes, and be able to see that it was referred from social media. And again, we go back to that principle of having a lead sheet that converges all of the traffic you get. So if your website is the primary source or the foundation, we know where the traffic comes from by using UTM codes and then tracking them to say, hey, this lead, or this, there's phone calls as well, but this lead, this form fill on your website actually ultimately came from this Instagram ad, and we can track that with the UTM code. So yeah, there's ways to track it. Brand advertising, obviously it's probably those more naffy degrees, which is of measurement, which is your interactions and your engagement with that post.
Yeah.
Likes, comments.
Yeah. I think it's important when you are tracking it, because we're trying to obviously help people figure out whether it's worthwhile, but it can be really often that something comes through, and actually until you're talking to someone, you realise it was actually a referral, word of mouth, or something else as well. And so it's important to, yes, have that tracking and see what's happening digitally, but then
ask the question still in the sales interaction.
Because, it might seem worthwhile in some cases and it's not. Sometimes it 100% is.
It was word of mouth. Yeah, it's interesting. I had a really cool lead come through. It was actually Expedition Systems, right? And it kind of describes this messy middle. So Google used to refer to that as the messy middle, like the things that happen to a consumer in between that actually makes them interact with you or pushes that interaction experience. And there's quite a lot of new terms coming out now, because we used to optimize lots of stuff. You'd have user experience, so landing page optimization, and then you would have something like a conversion optimization. Oh, if I move the get a quote button from here to here, what does that do? And if I make it red, what does that do in terms of making that conversion? But now there's this whole bunch of stuff that happens, and I think it's always happened, if I'm totally honest, that we actually don't really know, and that's how someone found you. So in that Expedition Systems one, it's funny because George and me fight. I obviously need to get referrals, go and do, you and me are in charge of getting the sales, the sales qualified leads through our outbound, and George is in charge of inbound. So sometimes a lead will come in and there's a bit of argy-bargy of who owns it. That's why we always ask the question to beat George. And
we love you, George.
He's on leave today, poor bugger. Still teasing him. So Expedition Systems, he phones up and he's having a chat and he's like, and I said, oh, so you clicked on a Facebook ad? He's like, did I? I don't ever remember that. I I didn't remember doing that at all. And I was like, oh, that's okay. And I was like, well,
Been drinking again, Jen? No.
yeah, Chase, where are you? And he's like, no, like I actually heard about you guys from Pete from Superfit. We were at a four-wheel drive show together, and he just raved about you. And so then he's like, but I think then maybe I saw his ad, and his ad was on you was talking about you, so that's maybe what I clicked on. So it all ran. Well, I reckon that was a year ago, and he's a client now, right? So messy middle. Thanks, Pete. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting how it all comes together in the end when you're looking at the lead sheet and what came where, when you actually have the conversations.
Yeah, but Meep, I think the important thing to understand is marketers don't, good marketers actually understand, back in the day, if you go, back to proper understanding of marketing when it was adverts and, billboards and traditional paper advertising, we talked about, the seven signals, seeing something 7 times for it to have that brand resonance with you. And I think we forget that they're just in different forms now. The world changed. It didn't change fundamentally because we always had a thing called the yellow pages, right? Which was I need a plumber, plumbing, let's find it, and I need a plumber. And that is that fundamental pull marketing. I know what I need and I'm going to go and find it. It was the yellow pages, it transferred to a Google search, and now it'll chat transfer. So what we're doing there, if you imagine the marketing funnel, awareness, interest, consideration, hopefully transaction, easiest sales funnel you've ever seen in your life. It gets more complex than that. But when we talk about the messy middle, it's often when, someone, that bikini example, I didn't really need one, right? Like it wasn't on my mind. We were heading to Bremer Bay. I hadn't thought about it. I would have just been fine. And then I probably at some stage went, you probably put on a few kilos. I should probably get a new bikini. No, it wasn't that. But you see the advert and you're like, I actually really like that one. And I think the thing that I had resisted previously was thinking in my mind, oh my God, the thought of having to go through all these sites and find it and get on Google and go in and they don't have my size. Whereas it got marketed to me. So that awareness, interest, consideration phase, it was like I was in a buyer cycle. I wasn't actively in it, but then it was pushed to me and I went for it.
Yeah.
And it was that piece of being hit at the right time that I think's changed quite a bit, but that's exactly the same as where a billboard might have been really well placed. You just wasted a lot of money previously and you didn't know you clicked on it. And social lets us absolutely nail that down. Geographically, demographically, psychographically, behaviourally, we can actually really pick some things to the point where they've actually expanded the things that you can select to target on, because before it could be so accurate.
They got you good.
They got me good.
They targeted you well.
Yeah. Size 14's up and I'm like, I'm in.
So what about, do you want to touch on ad spend?
Yep.
And, I don't know. I think the other thing is that people who are doing it,
paid social media.
Paid? I'm talking about paid
Yep.
social media now. Sorry, I'm doing that thing where I forget the first half of the question. But is it a? I'm telling Mum. What about? Is it a set them up, set and forget? How much time to monitor? How to know when to spend, where, and when? What about just that side of it? Because I feel like a lot of people do it. They take the leap. And this is not obviously with an agency, because agency come back and report back and tweak and refine things. Them. But, and then it was quite a hard basket setting it up and it's just left there. So what are your comments?
Yeah, I think if you sell, again, go back to those fundamentals, if you've got a single audience for a single product, so a single target audience and so they're in social and you can pick them on quite good demographics, good criteria within what advertising allows you to pick about a person. I want women who've got children between this age in the northern suburbs of Perth, right, whatever. Cool, you can do that. Is it set and forget? You know what, if you have a really successful ad up front, it is actually set and forget. You've done well, because it's that combination of messaging, the imagery, everything coming together. What is that call to action? How does it move through? So, there are ad groups for clients that we run where we will leave one ad that's incredibly successful running because it's hitting a target. We've got a client at the moment who has a range of different products. They're different trailers, right? And they are for different audiences. And we actually assessed some work that his incumbent agency had been doing, and 95% of it was rubbish. but 5%, this one advert, I can't remember what particular one it was, like the agriculture trailer or something like that. Do you remember it?
Yeah,
So
and it had just a very different picture to all the rest of them.
That one was
a cool
good.
Picture.
Yeah, and it was like, the quality of the image, they kind of got, we have done a version of it that's tweaked the messaging. We're like, we'll leave that one on. Like, we're very honest about it. We're like, that one actually seems to be performing and it's getting it right. And there were some lessons for us to learn in that. And it was like, oh, the photography is a bit off for this, and that messaging we've tweaked. So interestingly, we tweaked that one and put the better messaging on it, and now it's outperforming the one that it had, but we kept them running so we could do a thing called A/B testing. So budget, just on top of that. So you should be running and refining, but if one's performing well, only tweak a little bit and run that ad, because it doesn't matter. When you roll through and you see the advert multiple times as a consumer of social media, it's again, principles of seeing it 7 times. I still love that idea, right? Budget-wise, oh my God, what a big question. In Meta, it's the number of people you're hitting within the ad group. So like the broader your audience, the more you're going to pay, because essentially you're paying the more you hit. So if you say all of Western Australia, no other criteria, has to have a big budget to hit all those people. Really easy way just to think of it is, if you said, I want an advert on every billboard in Western Australia, it's going to cost you a lot more than one. So think about geographically, can I segment? Demographically, can I segment? The more you segment down, the cheaper it'll be. And that's why we love our customers to really think about and define well their target audiences to an nth degree. Like, really, what do they think and what do they do and where are they and what are their behaviours, and are they usually western suburbs or are they usually eastern suburbs? The more you think about that, you can actually save yourself money to really target your ad at the right place. So far, it's hard. I would say on average,
speak to your friendly marketer and they'll help out.
Yeah. No, listen, I think if you're selling, you're probably 1,500 is the upper end of most of our clients in terms of their ad spend, and then we've got monthly ad spend. In Meta advertising, and LinkedIn's a bit of a different beast and it's quite expensive. But most brand advertising, probably about $500 a month, and they're tiny budgets. There'll be big enterprise marketers out there laughing at us because they're spending $15,000 a month, but we know the return on investment isn't there for our clients. And also, if you get the audience right, you don't have to just waste money willy-nilly. You get your audiences right. We work hard for our clients' dollars so we can say smaller budgets. If they had more money, we would love to spend it, but they often don't. Yeah.
More about quality than quantity in some cases.
Yeah.
So give me a brief overview for a business owner to understand whether social media is worthwhile.
No, if you're not a product or service that people know that they want and go and Google or AI to come and to find you. So if you're not at that, interest and consideration phase, you probably need to push your product to an audience. And then you need to ask yourself, does that audience exist and play in that social media platform that I'm intending to push it? So if you're a B2B business and you're trying to push your wares in accounting, or you are trying to, push, longevity products to executives, LinkedIn's a great place to push and put your message across. And that's probably going to be more of a knowledge play, if that makes sense. You're demonstrating your knowledge, not just going, we are really good. And then the question becomes, if you are pushing a new product, so if you've launched a new particular, if you make people's lives easier, at home right now I'm installing a plunge pool, right? Like we've pulled out our underground pool and we're popping like a plunge pool in, right? I saw it on social media first. I didn't know they existed before I saw that. So what a great push marketing concept in terms of those are the things. A lot of the research goes into it. Lots of work's been done, but ultimately social got me thinking about it and go, oh, that's a good concept for where we live, right? So think about your product and think about how people consume it, and do they play in the social media platform you want to push to? And you know that as a business owner, so just follow your gut with that. Then it gets a little bit complex after that. It gets a little bit like, is my message right for hitting that audience, and is the targeting right that I've done and pushed it together? But if you have time, you don't outsource it, because you can play around and get those things right. Messaging, the imagery, the targeting in paid advertising, get that right. and play, A/B test it all the time. Well, that one's performed better than that one, so I'll leave that one on and I'll trial this one. Okay, now I'll turn that one off because that's definitely better than that. These are now my first 2 ads. What else could I tweak and run through that stuff? That's all we're doing. We just very fast on the messaging and imagery, and we have a lot of learned experience from what works and doesn't work, and the tracking is really good. That stuff's a bit tricky as well. So that wasn't really succinct, but
that's right. Okay, final question. I'm a business owner, and I've just been listening, and I've realised that social media is not hitting the mark, not the right
channel for you.
Channel for me now.
Yep.
Can you give them a little bit of hope, a little bit of a pointer if you're feeling that?
Then just it's a lot of time and fucking effort, like
that you're saving.
Yeah,
by not doing it.
Time, effort, and money that you're saving. You don't. I think ask yourself: is there any clients that I currently have that I would have lost because I don't have a post saying it's Janice's birthday, congratulations, on my Facebook page? Probably not. I think we're stressed. Actually, I'll leave you with a good stat. Social media today, I think it's Social Media Today, is a big part of publication for social media. They reported that in 2025, they saw a 30% drop in overall engagement with social media. Like this, probably similar to what you said at the top of the podcast. Like I deleted the apps off my phone. I think it might be the Trump stuff, it might be, you can get so invested, but a lot of people are just pulling away from it. And I actually think it's pretty cool. I think some younger generations, I think they're sort of seeing that it's brain rot. I think a study came out overnight that it's actually, proven now that it's actually degrading the brain. Like they've as much as alcohol would, much as drugs might, right? So that disengagement from social media is probably a sign of things to come. I think marketers pushed people. I think people got scared, like what they should be doing, just fucking get off it. If you can't see the value of it, get off it.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Oh, that's okay. I pay you for yours, so.
Really?
Yeah.
At this hour?
Joking. No, it's the car you drive home.
Oh.